So as we did in the last video, we reconfigured the network adapters, and after a reboot we can simply go sudo, and we can then check, well, in fact we need sudo for this, IP space ADDR, and we should see the addresses, and there's EMP-S08 172.16.1.1, and basically it is now up and running, so state is now up for both EMP0S3 and EMP0S8. We can also do ifconfig, and we can see the same thing. Okay, so again, it's just getting that file correctly configured and being very careful with your syntax and saving the file, rebooting, and we should be accessible from now on. So in our next video, we are going to look at installing a Ubuntu web server. Ubuntu server. I'll start it again. In our next video, we are going to look at installing Ubuntu desktop. Thank you very much. Okay, so now that we have our username done and we have our host name done, we're now going to install a service, being the web service from Apache. So as we saw before, we have the apt command. So again, we are logged in as a standard user, so we'll go sudo, and if we then go along with the apt command, and let's do an update to start off with. We put in our password, and we just do any checked updates. It's always a good idea to check your updates before you install something, and so all packages are currently up to date. So now we're going to go sudo apt install Apache, and it's actually Apache 2. And we now have a question: do you want to continue? Yes, we do. And very quickly we'll find that we have Apache installed on our system. And as that's completed, we can now actually check by going sudo, click on the window, sudo, and apt list, and of course we will get a list of all our apps. Okay, and if we scroll up and down, we'll actually see Apache. So you can see there's quite a lot of apps in there itself. Now, to make life easier, we are going to look at one thing here, which is that by default Ubuntu comes with a firewall called UFW. So basically we are going to go sudo UFW, keep forgetting to click on it, sudo UFW app list, and you can see that it gives us some available applications, but the only one we've installed basically is Apache. And the difference here is that Apache, the first one, will give us a firewall exception for port 80. Full will give us both port 80 and secure connection port 443, and secure will only give us 443. So what we want to do is we want to put a rule in that allows incoming traffic through port 80, which would be, and to do that we are going to go sudo UFW allow, and in this case just Apache, and rules updated for both IPv4 and 6. And if we want to check that, we can go sudo UFW status, and we can see the status of it. Status is currently inactive. By default, UFW is installed on Ubuntu but not enabled. So the reason that we're getting the UFW status of inactive is we need to enable it. So all we do is sudo UFW enable firewall is active enabled on system startup. And if we repeat our command a few seconds ago to look at the status, we'll now see that we have an allow rule for Apache on port 80. So we now have our firewall enabled and ready to go. We also have Apache installed. Okay, so in our next video we will look at configuring Apache web server.